Hi everyone, I am Bethany Zell. I'm the Program Director for Healthy You at Cary Medical Center, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday Live. We are continuing on our theme of heart health for the month of February, and today's topic is all about good heart, or getting to the heart of your health. And we have Dr. Hans Duvefelt with us. He is here from Pines Health Services. He practices up at the St. John Valley Health Center in Van Buren. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here.
My pleasure.
We're just really excited to learn more about what you think from a physician's standpoint about heart health, some of the things that you might be seeing in your practice, and things that patients might not be hearing in their doctor's offices that might help them get on a better track to a healthier heart lifestyle.
Yeah, thank you. It's a big topic, and I won't get into a lot of fancy details, but we chatted before we went live here that we're seeing heart disease in younger people than we used to see, and we are also seeing more and more that there aren't the warning signs that we typically used to think about when it comes to who gets heart disease. And I think that's one of the very important things when I talk to patients. You know, I'll talk about their cholesterol and their blood pressure and their diet and things like that. And if I suggest maybe making some changes, they kind of ask me, is it worth it? Is it time? Or can I hold off before I do all these things? And I think the way to look at this is we need to promote healthy lifestyles for everybody, not just for people who are on the brink. And I think we as a society have made a lot of changes, you know, just during my lifetime that have increased our risk in many ways. In spite of all the new medicines and stents and procedures that we can do, we are not eating as naturally as we used to. We take shortcuts in many ways in our lives.
And I think some of that shortcut is what we're seeing with these folks who want to procrastinate in doing the right thing. They know what the right thing is, and they're still like, is it too late, or can I wait a little while?
So we look at their age, smoking status, cholesterol values, blood pressures, things like that, and I'll give them a risk number saying your 10-year risk is such and such. And so they say, so what do you think? Do you think I should do that? And I have to say, well, are these numbers scary to you? And so at least we have some statistics to go on, but people are not statistics. And so it's a little bit like, if you say cholesterol, for example, we have been watching cholesterol for 30 plus years now, and we've focused a lot on it, but the average heart attack victim has an average cholesterol. Why does cholesterol hurt some people more than other people? And we finally know this. And this is the idea of inflammation. If you think about a frying pan, if you got a frying pan with a slippery surface and you put something in, it doesn't stick to the pan. If you have a scratched up old thing, even if there's Teflon here and there, which is not a good chemical to deal with, but even if there's Teflon here and there, if there are a few little scratches in that frying pan, things will stick. And cholesterol sticks to some people's arteries and not to others. And that's because of inflammation. And inflammation is at the root, we now know, of many, if not most, of the chronic diseases we deal with now. It's definitely involved in hardening of the arteries, plaque formation, heart attacks, that sort of thing. We now know it's a big player in diabetes. It's a big player in Alzheimer's disease. And it's obvious that it's a part of arthritis, but there are things that we can actually do to reduce inflammation. So we need to eat a healthy diet, eat good fat instead of bad fat, you know, olive oil instead of a margarine, that sort of thing. But there are foods that increase inflammation, and here's the scary thing. It's the sugars and the processed carbohydrates. Flour, bread, pasta, that sort of thing. And people were actually steered into those foods back when we thought fat was bad. There's only 3 kinds of fat. It's 3 kinds of food. There's fat, protein, and carbohydrates. And if you say fat is bad, and protein foods have fat in them, so eat carbohydrates is fine if you eat vegetables, but if you live on bread and pasta, it's not the same.
Right.
So I think it's important to look at diet, and the idea is that people who eat a less processed diet, that eat more natural foods, have less heart disease. The Mediterranean diet has been promoted because it has good fat, it has olive oil, and they do eat pasta, but not in huge quantities, contrary to popular belief. When you eat in Italy, you get a serving of pasta, but that's not your main meal. It's kind of almost an appetizer before the rest of it. So we know that the less processed our food is, the healthier our arteries are, because there is less inflammation. Sugar causes inflammation. High fructose corn syrup causes inflammation. Highly processed carbohydrates turn into sugar very quickly. And an example of that would be, in this country, we talk about the ingredients more than we talk about what you do with them. If we say oats are good, rolled oats, you can make muesli of it, without even cooking it, or you can have old-fashioned cooked rolled oats that take a long time to digest. That's a winter breakfast that lasts you all morning.
Right.
But if you grind it to a pulp, put it in an envelope, and plop it in the microwave, that actually raises sugar in the blood faster than eating spoonfuls of table sugar.
Wow.
And we now know that spikes in sugar cause inflammation and also cause a sort of a desperate move by the body to do something with that sugar, unless we're chopping wood or skiing or something. So it turns into triglyceride for storage. And unfortunately, the more sugary stuff you eat, the higher your insulin levels are, and the higher they are, the more you have difficulty burning fat. Insulin blocks fat burning. So eating less processed foods is the first step. And exercise can make your heart healthier, can make your blood vessels healthier. For example, there was an article very recently that said people who trained for a marathon and finished it, even if they did it slowly, they had looked at their aortas, the main blood vessel in here, the one that people get aneurysms of and so forth, and looked at how elastic, how much movement, how much change in shape there was of the aorta. And these people looked 5 years younger after the season when they had done their marathon training. And so we know that the healthier the arteries are, the lower the blood pressure, the less stress on the system. If you have a surge of pressure coming down a rigid pipe, it's a very different happening from if it flows through a tube that's flexible and can accommodate that burst of blood going through it.
So is there something that people can do practically at home to just make quick and easy changes that might help? Like if they come to your office and they've got, sky high blood pressure and you're not quite sure whether they need to be put onto some kind of medication at that point, what kinds of things do you suggest right out of the chute?
Right. High blood pressure is a risk factor for heart disease, and there are many things you can do to reduce blood pressure before you start medicine. With high numbers, you tend to start medicine anyway, but you always want to do the other things so you're less dependent on the medication, because the body's stubborn. But for example, a modest weight loss, a 10-pound weight loss, can very often make a big difference in blood pressure. Even if a person's 50 pounds overweight, the first 10 pounds are going to give you the most benefit of lowering blood pressure.
Wow.
We know that some people are very salt sensitive when it comes to their blood pressure. And we also know that things like high alcohol consumption can make blood pressure worse. And also, for some people, stimulants in the form of large doses of caffeine, stress, which is a stimulant in a way, that's the adrenaline rush, that can be a factor. And we know that exercise tends to lower blood pressure. I have many patients who, when they stop their exercise, their blood pressure goes up, and when they get back into the routine, their blood pressure goes down again. So what I say to people with with elevated blood pressure is watch the salt, watch your overall weight, and the most effective weight loss diet is a low-carb diet. That has been well proven, and also to be more active. And of course, you don't tell a middle-aged person to go and do something they haven't done for 30 years. You have to always build up and make sure you feel okay with it.
Absolutely. So what would you, if you know, what do you do to keep your heart healthy?
So this is what I did. I lost 15 plus pounds by doing a lot more physical work. I adopted 2 horses, and I don't have any power equipment.
Oh, wow.
So I do a lot of carrying of this, that, and the other, you know, all around. And I try to also eat very healthy. I pretty much cook for myself. I don't buy ready-made food, and I start my meal with a big salad, so I don't rely too much on the potato or pasta, or you know, even on the chicken and fish I eat. You know, I start with green leafy vegetables. I'm into kale salad now.
Oh, nice.
Cut it up small.
Yeah, I can't get through
cut it up
It's
small so you can eat it.
A little
But
too chewy sometimes.
eating fresh fruit and vegetables reduces inflammation. And I used to be on blood pressure pills, and after I lost the weight, I came off of them.
That's awesome.
So I try. And I think the scary thing is that, you know, we have all these risk factors, but most people who have a heart attack have very little warning. And so I think this is sort of a public health thing. You can't just do this to people one-on-one in the office. We all have to say, why are we seeing so much heart disease in younger people? And part of that is the lifestyles we have. We don't have to work as hard as we used to. We sit in front of a computer by a desk and so forth.
Yeah.
So managing your weight, eating a healthy diet, keeping an eye on blood pressure, and
that inflammation component.
And looking at inflammation. So we know that there's a link between sugar and inflammation. And when we say sugar, we need to think bigger than table sugar. We need to think flour. That is one of the big issues.
Yeah. Wow. So is there anything else you'd like to share, or that you feel it's important that our viewers kind of walk away from this talk with?
I think the most important is to look at, can we be more old-fashioned in how we move and how we eat, and not take the shortcuts that modern life has given us. You know, why push the remote? Why order out and have them bring it to your door? There's so many things where we're just too comfortable.
And we're losing the power. Like if you're ordering your food out all the time, you don't even really know what ingredients you're consuming. So we're giving that power and that control away. So as much as we can be empowered to take these good steps toward a healthier lifestyle, in the end, our heart will definitely thank us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who is watching, and we hope you'll be with us for our next Wellness Wednesday Live on March 8th, I believe. And we'll be talking all about sleep health. So we'll see you then. Have a great day.